what we have in front of us is the equation of a circle. So before we were doing equations of parabolas, which would just use x squareds and x's and constants. And if you want to graph a circle, you actually need a y squared as well as an x squared. So if we were to put this into Desmos right now, we would make a circle. Our goal is to rewrite this in what's called standard form. So the way we're going to do that is first we want to rearrange and get our x's together, and we like to put those on the left and our y's on the still on the left side of the equals, but like on the right end of that side. And any constants we have, we want to move those over to the other side of the equals. So we kind of want to rearrange it in this order. And then what we need to do is take our x group, and we want this actually to be written as a trinomial. So that means I'm going to have to invent some number right here. So I'm just going to write a plus blank as a placeholder. So I want my x squared and 8x to have a third item so that it makes a trinomial. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the y terms. So I want to write y squared. I don't have a y term, so I'm going to use a 0y as a place filler. And then I would need to invent another number here so that that would make a trinomial. So yeah, I do realize this is 0, but we have to keep in mind that you may have a +1y next time or something. So we want to go through the steps. So our goal is to take each of these trinomials and rewrite them as squares of binomials. So in other words, we're going to take this trinomial and factor it, and it's going to end up being a perfect square. So the way to do that is using a process we've actually already learned, which is completing the square. In other words, if I pulled the algebra tiles, a big square, 8 rectangles, and a certain number of little squares, how many little squares would I need to make the entire picture a square? And the way we did that is we took half of the b term and then we squared it. And that's going to get us 16. So 16 would not only go in the blank on this side, but it would also have to go on this side. That way your equation is still balanced. And we're going to do the same thing for the y's. So if I take half of 0 and I square it, well, of course, I'm still going to get 0. But again, just using it as a place filler. So whatever number you get would have to go on each side of the equals. So now what we can do is rewrite this perfect square trinomial as x plus 4 squared. And we can write this perfect square trinomial using y's as y plus 0 squared. And of course, 9 and 16 are going to make 25. And what's nice about the answer being presented like this is you can actually see the center of the circle is at -4, 0, and it has a radius of 5. And if you'd like to see a picture of our circle, here I've typed our starting equation into Desmos. You can see that it makes the circle. And look where the center is. It's at -4, 0, and its radius is 5.